Greetings folks, this is Wrongwise Gamgee and welcome to Quick and Dirty Roleplaying. In this video, I'll talk about how both players and the Game Master can contribute to the collective theater of the mind. The reason I refer to it as the collective theater of the mind is because the Game Master is often not capable of pointing out each and every single detail of the scene to the players. In my opinion, this is also not desirable, since going into that level of detail often takes too much time to also keep the momentum of the game going. It also becomes synonymous in practice to an expository info dump, which should also be typically avoided during the game session. Unless certain details are so integral that everyone in the group should be on the same page, in which case providing images is recommended, the Game Master is not responsible for ensuring that every player is imagining a scene in exactly the same way. Players should take it upon themselves to exercise some inductive logic as to what a particular scene ought to have when it comes to details that the Game Master didn't explicitly state. If they want their character to use or interact with an element that would make sense to be in the scene, the player should state their character's intentions as if that element were in the scene. For example, if the PCs are in a heist and they're searching for a passcode to the safe in the owner's master bedroom, one of the players can state that their PC is removing the family photos from the picture frames to see if there are any passcodes written in the back of the photos, whether or not the GM mentioned them in his description of the master bedroom. The PC is acting as if the family photos were there. In this instance, it's up to GMs to determine whether or not the element that the PCs are interacting with that the GM didn't mention is indeed there or not. In most instances, I would recommend that the GM goes along with the player's forward-thinking idea, or at the very least, modify the details so as to best fit the GM's original intentions. Denying the PC's actions involving scene details that have not been specified by the GM is, by and large, detrimental to the tabletop role-playing game experience, and is not something I would recommend. In this regard, GMs need to be flexible, because although part of their role is to describe the scene through the PC's senses, they can't cover every single minute detail, nor should they. The PCs can contribute to the details of the scene and, ultimately, the setting in a way that actually adds to the immersion of the experience through character interaction, because incorporating scene elements that are not mentioned by the GM is a way of reinforcing the verisimilitude of the game world. Players, if your GM seems to omit details about a particular scene, don't be afraid to interact with unmentioned scene elements that would make sense for them to be there. At the very least, you can state something like, "My character looks around to see if they notice X," to which the GM should probably grant to the PC, or make them roll for it, if X is something that is not very noticeable at a cursory glance. Game Masters, if scene element X is present in the scene and the PCs put in a sufficient amount of time and effort in looking for X, have them find it without a dice roll. Bring the dice rolls into play only when time is of the essence. If you like or dislike anything you've seen in this video, please give it a like or a dislike and leave a comment. Subscribe if you want to support my channel, and if you really want to support my endeavors, head over to my Patreon and become an appreciated trooper. The link is in the description. Until then, folks, take care and play to find out what happens.